Representative Lauren Boebert is getting called out on social media for doing a little bit of casual racism, as opposed to the more mainstream Republican hardcore racism. Recently on social media, she referred to White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre as a quote-unquote DEI hire. Now, DEI, of course, stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, many people on the right have been using that term essentially to mean unqualified black person. Specifically, again, as I mentioned, unqualified, and she's one to talk, right? Basically, whenever they say DEI, it means, oh, it's a black person in a position of power. You were unqualified to be there, and you were only hired because you were black, which is, again, very racist, okay? Nonetheless, Boebert says this: I couldn't care less about what Jean-Pierre had to say today. It's between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., which means President, she puts that in quotations, Joe Biden supposedly should be incoherent enough to take a few questions from the press. Instead, Americans are supposed to listen to the discredited DEI hire. Pass! Okay, so before I get into that, anything else, let me just get this out of the way.
The Republican Party's racist.
Yeah, that's it. Again, if you want to criticize President Joe Biden for not doing media, which, by the way, I think he should be doing a lot more media appearances. I don't know why. Well, maybe I do. Why the Biden administration seems to be hiding Joe, okay? Yes, there's a lot of legitimate questions about his age and mental fitness and things like that. But anyway, if you want to question that, that's totally fine, okay? But here's where Lauren Boebert crosses these lines, calling anybody who is a black woman specifically who is in a position of power a DEI hire is deeply racist and offensive because, again, it downplays their qualifications. Jean-Pierre is very educated. She's college educated. Lauren Boebert is not. No, that's not to say that like people who don't go to college are not intelligent. No, of course they can be. There's nothing wrong with not going to college, by the way. But when you do, understand that it does open up a lot of higher end career paths with more earning potential. And at the end of the day, it does get very, it's worth it if you can avoid getting into massive amounts of student loan debt, which is the problem here, which is a problem created by Ronald Reagan and Republicans to, make sure that you don't have an educated populace, which has worked wonders when it comes to people like Lauren Boebert. Okay, so it's not that the education is worthless. It's very much worth it. It's the fact that it's been priced out of reach for so many for particular reasons, to create more people like Lauren Boebert. But again, those who do it end up usually in better careers. Again, look at Karine Jean-Pierre. She is the White House press secretary. That is a very big, very important job. I don't always agree with what she says. If anything, I consider her to be a mouthpiece for the establishment, and sometimes it can drive me crazy. I mean, but I've never once in my life had any doubt about her qualification to be there. That's different. And so the difference here is what makes Lauren Boebert, what she said, racist, okay? Because she does have doubts about her qualifications, calls her a DEI hire. Take the DEI out of it, and what Boebert says, it might be fine. But again, Lauren Boebert could not help but inject race into it because to them, every black person in power doesn't deserve to be there. Another example of the right wing doing this, by the way, was back in March, when a cargo ship ran to the bridge in Baltimore, causing that bridge to collapse. Immediately, conservatives started calling Baltimore's black mayor, Brandon Scott, a DEI mayor. He had nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with the vote hitting the bridge. He's an elected official, but again, immediately they're like, it must be the fault of the DEI mayor. Really. Then you have Maryland Governor Wes Moore and Maryland Port Commissioner Corinthia Barber, who are also both black. They were labeled as agents of DEI for just no reason, right? And so from that, it's pretty clear that DEI is a stand-in for the N-word for conservatives. That's how they view this, right? And so people on X/Twitter, they hit back saying, DEI hire, tell everyone you're racist without saying it out loud. Another says, DEI hire, not only was that incredibly racist, it was disrespectful. A sitting congresswoman should be better than that. Well, if I've learned anything about Republicans over the last few years, is that if they can go lower, they will. Another says, Lauren, you should think about things a bit. Your family has issues. You ran out in District 3, remember your constituents, and you are wanting the voters in District 4 to embrace your anchortainment. You really have nothing else to offer them, except for unvarnished racism. Another says, boy, you're racist through and through, and vile. And another mentions, it hurts that you can't drop the N-bomb on your government account, doesn't it? And then finally, another says, if you couldn't care less, why are you posting like you do care? Well, again, at the end of the day, it gets back to the point where, for one, she's throwing it out to her base, right? This is the red meat, the DEI, buzzwords. I mean, things that they don't understand. It's like critical race theory. They just throw it out there. Before it was affirmative action. And look, you know, politicians like Boebert throw it out, and the base eats it up like the slop that it is, and the slop that they're used to, okay? Because these Republicans, they don't actually help their constituents. All they do is just throw out racism, and that's it. Racism, and of course, oh, we're fighting the wokes. Yeah, we got to fight the wokers. We got to fight against the woke. Yes, that's right. What is the woke? I don't know. It's just another stand-in for black people, apparently. So that's what it is. Like I said, at the end of the day, the right wing shows what it really wants. And what they want is to so badly, openly say the N-word. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you become a member on our YouTube page, you become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.